In the quiet corridors of Buckingham Palace, a silent battle of wills is reportedly unfolding. This isn't a battle for the throne, but for the very future of the modern British monarchy. On one side, you have King Charles, driven by what some say is a mix of pragmatism and paternal affection. On the other, his son and heir, Prince William, who is said to have a laser-focused vision for a leaner, more resilient institution. And caught in the middle, two princesses born into the heart of the firm but long kept on its fringes, Beatrice and Eugenie. According to palace insiders and royal commentators, King Charles is considering bringing his nieces back into the royal fold. This is more than just a family reunion. It's a strategic move that appears to put him in direct opposition to Prince William's fiercely guarded vision for a slimmed-down monarchy. It's a high-stakes decision that suggests a growing rift between a king and the future king. What we might be witnessing is a fundamental clash of ideologies that could redefine the House of Windsor for generations. To get why this is such a big deal, we need to look at the state of the monarchy today. For years, the guiding philosophy, championed first by Charles and now reportedly inherited by William, has been the slimmed-down monarchy. The idea was simple. A smaller group of senior working royals would be more cost-effective and less prone to scandal. A sensible plan for the 21st century, right? Well, theory has a way of colliding with reality. What started as a strategic plan now looks like a potential weakness. First, the departure of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle left a huge gap in public engagement. Then, the complete removal of Prince Andrew from public life erased another key figure from the roster. More recently, the institution was shaken by the dual health crises in 2024. The news of King Charles's and the Princess of Wales's cancer diagnoses and their withdrawal from public duties brought the vulnerability of this lean model into sharp focus. Suddenly, the working royal family looked less slimmed down and more skeletal. With a smaller circle of senior royals, many of whom are getting older, the pressure has mounted. This has created what some royal watchers are calling a personnel crisis. With fewer faces to cut ribbons, attend events, and represent the crown, a pressing question has emerged. Is the slimmed-down monarchy too slim to survive? Can an institution built on visibility risk becoming irrelevant simply because there aren't enough people to be seen? This is the problem that has King Charles reportedly looking for solutions in a place his heir is unwilling to go. At the center of this royal chessboard are Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. For most of their adult lives, they've occupied a strange space. Thanks to a 1917 letters patent, they are princesses with the style of Her Royal Highness. Yet, they aren't working royals in the traditional sense. They don't receive public funds from the sovereign grant and have built their own careers, Beatrice in the tech and finance world, and Eugenie as a director at a London art gallery. They've been, in effect, the monarchy's most famous part-timers, appearing on the balcony for big events, but not on the official payroll. Their position became infinitely more complicated with the scandal surrounding their father, which has cast a long shadow over their lives. Despite no wrongdoing on their part, they have become sympathetic figures in the public eye, loyal daughters bearing the consequences of their father's choices. Royal commentators suggest King Charles is keenly aware of this. The prevailing narrative is that the king feels a sense of responsibility and doesn't believe his nieces should be punished for the sins of their father. Sources have claimed Charles is determined to protect them and ensure they have a place within the family. When their father was stripped of his titles, the palace was reportedly quick to stress his daughter's status would not be affected, a sentiment the king has seemingly reinforced. It's this protective, paternal instinct that appears to be fueling his desire to give them a more visible role. This brings us to the king's alleged new plan. According to multiple royal commentators, Charles is actively considering involving Beatrice and Eugenie in more official duties. And some believe we are seeing the first careful steps of this strategy playing out. This isn't about making them full-time working royals overnight. It appears to be a more gradual repositioning. For example, Princess Eugenie was recently brought into the orbit of the King's Foundation, becoming a mentor for its 35 Under 35 network, which celebrates young talent in the arts and creative industries. Eugenie expressed her delight in working with the foundation to support the group, a move that publicly aligns her with her uncle's most important legacy project. Similarly, in late 2025, Princess Beatrice was appointed as a deputy patron of the Outward Bound Trust, a charity with deep royal roots, previously linked to her grandfather, Prince Philip, and her father. Her appointment, which followed 6 years of service as a trustee, was seen by some as another deliberate signal from the palace. According to royal expert Ingrid Seward, these moves send a very strong signal that the king is determined to embrace his nieces. In the face of a depleted roster, Charles is reportedly looking to them as a potential solution. Insiders describe it as a plan to bring them into the royal fold in a way where they don't feel they're just being gratuitously pulled in, but they're actually doing something for it. It's a strategy born of necessity, but also, it seems, of affection. As one source claims, the king feels quite responsible for these 2 girls because it's been a hideous time for them. So, King Charles seems to be making a choice to bolster the monarchy with familiar faces. But is it the right one? Is he wisely using the resources at his disposal, or is he ignoring the risks associated with the York name? Let me know what you think in the comments. While King Charles may be looking at his nieces with affection, his heir, Prince William, reportedly views the situation through a much colder, more strategic lens. For William, the future of the monarchy is about institutional survival. An insider close to the Wales household has claimed that William believes there must be a very visible and consistent separation between the institution and anyone connected to that fallout. Allowing Beatrice and Eugenie to take on even minor public-facing duties, some fear, could blur the lines the palace has worked hard to establish. The concern is that welcoming the princesses could be seen by the public as a backdoor for the wider York family to regain a foothold, something William is said to be firmly against. Where Charles sees 2 blameless nieces, William reportedly sees potential brand contamination. His vision is described as smaller, more disciplined, and far more tightly managed. It's an unsentimental approach, focused solely on protecting the crown's long-term viability. This puts him on a direct collision course with his father. While Charles is reportedly trying to find a way to include the princesses, William is said to be taking an uncompromising stance, creating 2 competing centers of power with 2 very different views on what the monarchy should be. This divergence of opinion is more than just a family disagreement. It has profound implications for the House of Windsor. When the king and the future king are pulling in opposite directions, what happens next? First, it creates a sense of instability. The monarchy's strength has always been its image of unity. Openly differing strategies threaten to undermine that image, suggesting a divided house. Insiders have reportedly described a schizophrenic relationship with the York princesses, sometimes invited, sometimes kept at arm's length. This inconsistency can confuse the public and weaken the institution's authority. Second, it sets up a potentially awkward future. If King Charles succeeds in carving out a semi-official role for his nieces, what happens when William ascends the throne? Would a King William immediately reverse his father's decisions? Such a move could appear jarring and disrespectful, creating yet another cycle of family drama. It puts Beatrice and Eugenie in an impossible position, their futures dependent on the whims of 2 powerful men. Finally, there is the debate about relevance. The argument for bringing in Beatrice and Eugenie is an argument for visibility. A royal family that isn't seen can't perform its function. However, the argument for excluding them is about brand purity. As William seemingly sees it, any association with scandal, however remote, could further erode public trust. Commentators have noted that the aura of their parents makes any official involvement highly controversial. It's a difficult choice: risk irrelevance through invisibility or risk reputational damage through association. We are left with a conflict between 2 distinct visions. On one hand, King Charles appears to favor an inclusive, family-oriented model. He seems to be leading with his heart, trying to protect his nieces while also pragmatically addressing a shortage of working royals. His is a plan of addition. On the other hand, we have Prince William, the unsentimental modernist. His approach is reportedly one of subtraction and consolidation. Observers believe his vision for survival depends on a ruthless focus on a core brand, with a zero-tolerance policy for potential liabilities. His is a vision of a smaller, more agile, and unimpeachable institution. There is no easy answer. Charles's approach risks reopening old wounds. William's approach risks creating a monarchy so small it loses its connection to the people. The path they choose will not only determine the fate of two princesses, but could very well determine the fate of the monarchy itself. And so, the question remains, in this quiet battle between father and son, whose vision will ultimately prevail? This debate cuts to the heart of what the royal family will look like in the 21st century. I'm fascinated to hear your perspective. Are you Team Charles or Team William? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the dramas of the House of Windsor.